So ఈరోజు టుడే ఆల్ ఇండియా ర్యాంక్ 330 Sirisetti Sankeerth. So first I want to ask him how he felt when he got the information that he scored or he got the rank 330. Please share your experience.
First of all, thank you everyone for your wishes. When the result was out on 4th August 2020, I came to know that I got 338th rank. So immediately after I got this information, I called my parents and gave this information to them. The kind of response I got from their side just said me the answer, that how much it means to them, and also these many years of effort yielding success to me is really happy for me. And then after I called my sir VISHNU sir. Sir was very happy for my result. I really thank VISHNU sir for the guidance that he has provided me in achieving this result. Thank you very much, sir.
So Sankeerth, one more question I want to ask you. What is the role anthropology played in your success? Why? Because I know that 2018 you got 323 marks. It's a very high mark. My two questions are, how this anthropology played a role, number one. Number two is, how many marks you are expecting in anthropology 2019?
Okay. While starting my civil services preparation, my earlier option was geography, but I did not score much marks in geography optional. I scored around 250 marks in geography. Because of that, I could not even clear the mains. Later on, I have done a lot of research on which optional to pick in order to clear the civil services examination. Then I pinpointed my optional as anthropology. Later on, I started preparation on my own, taking the guidance from some of the seniors and reading some of the basic books. But that was not sufficient to score 300 plus marks and to achieve good rank in civil services. What I did was I joined a test series at VISHNU sir. Regularly I used to write the answers and get them evaluated by VISHNU sir. From the answers that I have written, sir identified the faults in my answer and suggested what to do in order to get good marks. Because of the suggestions that was given to me by the VISHNU sir, I could able to secure 323 marks in Civil Service 2018 examination. Unfortunately, I could not clear the examination that year because of my poor performance in interview. But this year, I did the same thing with respect to the optional. Whatever the tips and guidance that was provided to me by the VISHNU sir, I applied them even this year. This year, I could able to get 338th rank in civil services. So I am expecting 300 plus marks even in my anthropology optional. All the credit goes to VISHNU sir for giving me the proper tips and guidances how to crack a particular optional. So thank you, sir, for your guidance with respect to optional anthropology, sir.
Yes, thank you. One more question from the viewers. Why one should take anthropology as optional? So what you would suggest the reasons behind it?
First question is like, why one should take anthropology as an optional? Because our ultimate aim is to get into the service. For that, we need to secure very good marks in optional. Optional plays a vital role in clearing the civil services examination. For instance, if we notice the marks of the candidates that are getting the ranks in civil services, those who secured rank, they scored almost 300 plus marks in their optionals. So anthropology offers us with such opportunity to score very high marks. So it plays a very vital and crucial role in getting the service. So for that reason, one can opt to the anthropology optional. And also there are some other reasons like anthropology optional, like if we get some basics correct with respect to the terminology and anthropology thought and some other fewer aspects, then it's very easy to apply those concepts while writing the answers. And also, there is very good guidance available for us here in Hyderabad. And also, the amount of material that was available with respect to anthropology is concerned, it is very consolidated material. So, if we take these advantages into consideration, like I will suggest who are aiming to clear civil services, they can go for anthropology optional if they are confident with respect to that optional that they can score 300 plus marks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sankeerth. One more question. Do you like paper 1 or paper 2 in both the papers? Which you feel more interesting?
In fact, both the papers are very important for civil services examination and for clearing the examination. We should not differentiate between paper 1 and paper 2 because whatever the concepts that we learn in paper 1, for instance anthropological thought, we can apply those concepts in paper 2. If we can able to connect these concepts, interconnecting between the papers, that will fetch you the additional marks. But my favorite among these two subjects, these two papers is definitely paper 2. Because when it comes to paper 1, we need to refer a lot of books. We need to remember a lot of information. But when it comes to paper 2, if we can able to understand few concepts clearly, be it caste mobility, be it tribe caste continuum, be it some of the topics in archaeology, if we can able to understand these topics clearly and if we could able to get the sufficient case studies and we could able to apply these things with respect to any question, it becomes very easy to write paper 2 when compared to paper 1. So both the papers are very important, but my favorite is paper 2.
Very nice. Paper 2 is more dynamic, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So whether diagrams really benefit for the students who are appearing for 2020 mains? Whether diagrams is a game changer?
Diagrams do play their role in civil service examination, particularly in optional papers, because the amount of time that is available to write the answers in mains is like very limited amount of time. We need to fill lot of papers. So diagram offers us the scope to present the data in a very beautiful and lucid manner, and also it helps us to fill the papers within a short span of time. And also the evaluator, he feels comfortable when he notices the diagram and he could able to like connect with it. So if he connects with the diagram, we will have the edge because he will give some extra marks because he could able to appreciate the beauty of the diagram. So diagrams do play a role in securing good marks. Those who could able to draw well, they will definitely have a fair edge over the other competitors. So it's better to focus on diagrams as well.
Very good insight. It will be very much useful for all the students. And one more general tendency is there. What is it means? Physical anthropology will be giving mileage for science background student. Is it true that the physical anthropology is more supportive to science students, whereas for arts and engineering background it's a disadvantage?
I don't think so, sir. Like, as aspirant preparing for UPSC, he has a fairly good amount of knowledge of how to prepare for a particular paper and how to prepare a particular topic. The topic may be of physical anthropology, the topic may be of biological anthropology, the topic may be of socio-cultural anthropology, whatever it may be. An aspirant who understands the basic terminology and basic concepts clearly, he does not feel the toughness of that particular subject or that part at all. So there is nothing like this part is hard for people from one type of background, and one part is easy for people from other kind of background. There is nothing like that. Anybody can ace up any subject if they have good basics and they have command over the terminology. They can crack it.
Thank you, Sankeerth. Very great insights you are giving. So a simple question. In 2018, you are one of the topper. Means 323 marks is not it's a very high score. I know how much effort you put. I know personally you. How much you are expecting in 2019?
Yes, of course, I secured 323 marks last year. It was the highest marks by a candidate from the Telugu states.
Yes.
This year also the competition is relatively very high. The people from the Telugu states who choose anthropology as their optional are also very high. So, as the UPSC is a competitive examination, year on year, the aspirants will try to improve their command over the subjects. Look, I tried my best to improve my command when it comes to last year. In a similar way, there are candidates who try to improve their scores in anthropology. So, in this field of competition, it's very difficult to guess how many marks we can get or how many marks that I can get. So, but I can say that I performed on par with what I have performed last year.
So, lastly, can you share your interview guidance, interview program? How was the interview happened? Which board you was?
My interview was on 24th February 2020. I got Smita Nagarajan ma'am's board. So, my interview was fairly, like the board treated me fairly cordial. I got some of the questions related to my job, like Mission Bhagira, the department. Some of the questions were from Indo-US relations because on that day, United States President Donald Trump visited India. Some of the questions were on like what are the significant economic changes that took place in the last 5 years in India. There were questions on GST, there were questions on Gram Panchayats and all. And also there were questions from anthropology as well. When it comes to questions from anthropology, the questions were like, what is anthropology? How anthropology is different from sociology? So which is broad, whether it is anthropology or whether it is sociology? How you have applied the concepts of anthropology into your real life? How the anthropology has played a role in doing your job in a much better manner? And also there were questions regarding Aryan migration theory, whether the Aryan migration theory is correct or whether it was out of India migration. They asked questions on latest genetic studies like DNA technologies, DNA studies regarding Harappan side, Traki Gari side. So there were fairly questions from almost all the topics with special emphasis on my background and with special emphasis on anthropology optional.
So, see, most of the questions were from anthropology optional. So, that is one of the advantage. With anthropology optional, the questions in interview will be expected questions. So, I want to know one answer. What you answered, what is the difference between anthropology and sociology?
So, as soon as the member asked me, well, what is the difference between anthropology and sociology, then I immediately said, so these two subjects, they are not much different. Like, sociology is also part of anthropology. Anthropology was also part of sociology. They do intermingle, but there is also differences between them. Like, socio-cultural anthropology is similar to whatever the socio-cultural elements that we study in anthropology and in sociology. There are also differences, like anthropology studies the people not only in the present generation, but also it studies the past of the people in the form of archaeology. It also studies the present and it also studies the future of the people. And also There are topics like linguistic anthropology, where we try to study the culture from the linguistic point of view. That was also there. There was also biological anthropology. We study the biology of the human beings. When it comes to sociology, we focus on mostly the present societies and we focus mostly on the socio-cultural aspects. So there is lot of like interconnection and also lot of differences between these two subjects. It was what I answered.
Thank you, Sankeerth. It's a very holistic interview. I expect this time you will be scoring 180 and above in an interview. The answers are very good. I know your interview script also. So two of the students were waiting for you. They want to ask questions. So I will just give the mic to the students. They will ask you. Please.
It's my pleasure, sir.
So this question is not only from me, for all the aspirants who are preparing for prelims 2020.
Okay.
And there are only 50 days for prelims examination. What will have to do now? Is there any? Can you suggest?
Okay. Fine. So those candidates who are aspiring to ace the Civil Services 2020 examination and those who are appearing for this year prelims, which was about to be held on 4th October, my suggestions are these things. Like, first of all, try to finish your core part as soon as possible. Once you finish the core part, that is like basic textbooks like polity, basic economy, basic history textbooks and so on, try to read current affairs, revise current affairs more and more. After doing these things, you have very limited time. Focus on trying to solve as many papers as possible. So there is a technique in solving the papers. That technique is like, you should not be very casual minded when it comes to solving the papers. A regular aspirant's mindset is they generally solve the paper and they set it aside. Like, they don't bother about the test that he has solved. So your mindset should be such that after solving a particular test, evaluate the number of questions that you have attempted, the number of questions that you have marked correct, number of questions that you have left, number of questions that you have marked wrong. So evaluate the areas from which you have missed the questions and which you have marked the questions wrong. Identify those areas. If it is polity, go and revise polity. If it is from the polity static, read Lakshmikant. If it is from the polity current affairs, read polity current affairs. If it is from the economy, identify whether it is static or current affairs. So go and revise that particular topic. After doing this fault finding and rectifying those faults, focus on second test. Do the same thing again. Solve the paper, identify your faults, try to rectify those faults and give the third test. So this should be your mindset. And also one more important thing that you can cultivate is like identify the pointers while preparing for prelims. There are some important topics that UPSC is focusing over the past few years. Like, if you can identify those pointers and you study specifically those pointers, for example, UPSC is emphasizing on national parks and wildlife sanctuaries over the past few years. Similarly, the rivers and the tributaries is one more such pointer. Government schemes is one such pointer. Like, different organizations is one pointer. The reports of organizations is another pointer.
So targeted.
A targeted approach, like summits like ASEAN, BRICS, groupings like G20, G8. These are the pointers. Very recently, if you can notice, like genetic engineering questions are a regular trend in UPSC prelims.
Yes.
Like DNA, recombinant DNA technology, 3-parent child, gene editing tool, like BT crops, GM crops, all these are regular trend. So if you can able to identify those pointers and you can specifically read those pointers, you will have the edge over the other candidates. You will secure fairly some 15 to 20 marks when it comes to other candidates. That should be your strategy. Like identifying your faults, rectifying them, and also identifying the pointers and special emphasis on those pointers. This will enable you to crack the prelims.
Any more doubts? If you want, you can ask in Telugu also.
So most of the aspirants these days, they come up with a enormous zeal, UPSC, CSC preparation. And after starting a preparation, they lose their confidence. After 2-3 months, 3-4 months, they lose their confidence. So how to maintain this consistency? How you maintain?
So the question is about, in the beginning, the curiosity for preparation is very high. Whereas as the time goes on, the curiosity is decreasing. So how we need to maintain this momentum? So please, can you?
What you have pointed out is really true. Like, there are many aspirants who start the preparation with great zeal. After a certain point of time in their preparation, they lose that enthusiasm because of deviations or be it lack of interest. So, what one can do during the course of preparation in order to maintain that passion or that zeal or that liking for the UPSC civil services is self-motivating. Like, there won't be teachers or the friends who constantly motivate you. So, one thing that will come handy to you is like self-motivation. What I used to do is, like, during my preparation, if I feel low or if I feel that I am deviating from the preparation, I used to open the YouTube. I used to see the videos of the aspirants who have cleared the examination, who are undergoing training in the academy, LABSNA, National Police Academy. That used to raise the zeal of me once again to crack this examination. Along with this, my ringtone for the mobile phone was the theme song of the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. So when I get a call from someone, that theme song used to play. Like, that again motivates me. That cheers me up. Like, that song is like, O koro mitdir ho doro mitdir raho unnat shir kai bho. Whenever I hear this song, like, it cheers me up, it inspires me, it motivates me. So, the self-motivation is the very key aspect in this preparation. If you can constantly motivate yourself, there won't be any deviations from the path and you could able to successfully achieve your desired target.
Thank you. Very, I can see your motivation. It's very great. The song is also very good. Is there any more question? Yes.
2018లో తెలుగు 2018లో మీరు సక్సీడ్ అవ్వలేకపోయారు కదా. సో అప్పుడు సార్ని కలిసారు కదా. సో అప్పుడు మీకు ఎలా దొరికింది, అంటే లైక్ సపోర్ట్ ఎలా దొరికింది? సో సార్, మీ పేరెంట్స్, అంటే అప్పుడు మీ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏంటి? సో అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ ఫేస్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు ఇలా సిచ్యువేషన్ ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా, దెన్ వాట్ ఇస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్?
So basically, so this is the question in Telugu. You want to ask that ఏంటంటే 2018లో ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యారు చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్గా. సో దగ్గర దాకా వచ్చి మిస్ అయింది సర్వీస్. కానీ మీరేం యూ డి నాట్ బ్రోకప్, మీరేం తగ్గకుండా మళ్ళీ 2019లో ప్రిపేర్ అయ్యారు. సో 2018లో 2019లో జరిగినటువంటి పరిణామాలు.
In 2018, I was very confident. Like, I believed that was the year that I could able to get into the service. Like, I prepared very well for my prelims. I cleared my prelims. I prepared very well for mains. In fact, I scored some of the highest marks in the mains examination. It was 832 and I scored the highest marks in anthropology optional, 323. But unfortunately, I could not clear the examination because of my interview. When the results were out, on 4th April 2019, I faced the failure. Immediately after 1 year and 4 months, I tasted the success. So, don't be bogged down by your failures. So take the support from your parents, take the guidance from your teachers, motivate oneself. These things will enable you to achieve the success one day or the other.
Thank you. This will 100% it will help the aspirants who could not clear 2019 and who are aspiring for 2020. Thank you, Sankeerth. Yes, one more question is there. Yes, please.
Though there are so many optional teachers for anthropology, but you mainly choose Vishnuvardhan sir for that, as an optional teacher and also as a mentor. What qualities you saw in that sir and how it helped?
What you said is true. Like, there are many teachers that are available here with respect to anthropology optional is concerned. But why I chose specifically Vishnuvardhan sir? There are some reasons why I chose Vishnuvardhan sir. I chose Vishnuvardhan sir because sir maintains and gives preference to the serious aspirants. So when I approached Vishnuvardhan sir, he gave special emphasis to me. So on a priority basis, when I write and submit the answers, on a priority basis, sir used to evaluate my answers. And sir could able to rectify my faults. And sir could suggest what else I can do in a much better manner in order to improve my score in the anthropology optional. So these things I may not get from an anthropology sir where the students crowd and sir where that particular sir may not dedicate his valuable time for me to identify my faults and rectify my mistakes. So I chose Vishnuvardhan sir for these things.
Thank you. Thank you, Sankeerth. Any more questions, please? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sankeerth.
Thank you very much, sir. All the pleasure is mine.